Are you feeding them at all?
We just took the feeders off last week.
Okay.
Larvae there.
Tyler, you see that larva right there?
Yeah.
You see how it looks a little yellowish in color?
Yeah.
It's a little bit off. Here, these are all healthy over here, but I think you might have had a slight touch of European foul brood, and the hive is coming out of it now, which is not a problem. It's a recoverable disease.
Okay.
I would suggest until you get that top box drawn out, you continue to feed this hive.
Okay.
Because they're gonna draw comb much better if they have sugar syrup coming in.
Okay. Did you put any termicin on here at all?
We could.
Yep. Well, actually, I'm at it right now. I should be done.
Yeah, I think we should, because there's a couple other cells that have EFB in them.
Is it back in the truck?
Yes, it's in the back. It's in a white container. Would you like me to put some tetracycline on here to help clear it up?
Absolutely. Whatever you feel.
It's in a white container where my smoker goes. It's like a gallon mayonnaise jar, if you will. Plus the feeding will help them come out of it just as well.
Okay.
It's queen right, and it looks good. It looks like this bottom box is doing great, but until you get those combs drawn out, I'd keep the feed on them, because you know it's a little shady here, and we're coming out of towards the end of the honey flow. You know what I mean? And that will just stimulate them to get that done.
Okay.
Yeah, this usually gets on like 11 to 6.
Okay.
Do you have a feeding method you recommend, or like?
What type of a feeder are you guys using?
We have the upside down sugar water bucket.
Oh, a friction pail. I prefer the Man Lake Hive Top feeder. It holds about 2.5, 3 gallons. And
It
looks like a box.
I've seen that.
Yes. And it has a screen. Now when you get them, you're going to want to take a little bit of silicone and silicone the wire to the bottom of the feeder. Just run a bead of silicone down there, because it will keep bees from coming up underneath it. Oops. Oh, gee whiz. All this is tetracycline mixed with powdered sugar. Okay? And we're just going to go like this. And it wouldn't hurt for you to hit them again in about a week or so. You could probably, if you're going to order a feeder, you should order some tetracycline at the same time. Okay? The nurse or the house cleaner bees try to remove it, and then they become nurse bees, and then they feed the babies, and that's how they get a dose of the antibiotic into the baby.
Okay.
Okay? Go ahead, you. Now this looks like used equipment.
Yeah.
Were you a beekeeper before?
No, we got this from one of her.
She was a beekeeper before?
She still is, and she had extra stuff.
What's her name?
Barbara Bednarz. She lives up in Lincoln.
I'm not familiar with her. I was just curious, because I know a fair amount of beekeepers. So this is a flow hive, huh?
Yeah, and it was with a package, not a nuke.
Okay. Did you feed it?
Yeah, I fed it up until last week, and I just put this on.
Is this the one that they get the honey out of?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's a queen excluder here?
Yep.
See him putting any honey in it?
yet?
I haven't actually opened this one up since we put the frames on.
Okay.
Is there a reason why that doesn't have any foundation?
That's how they gave us the frames.
Okay.
Okay, it's queen right.
And that frame, my Brian gave me, my mentor.
Okay.
Clifton, and
Who's
it
your
was
mentor, Judy?
Brian.
his last name?
Aaron. And he gave me a frame full of honey that I put in with them
Okay.
when we installed.
You give 'em
the
a good
package.
start?
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Loaded with eggs and larvae. Not a lot of food, and the larva and the egg and the brood looks good. I would suggest that you guys might want to put some supports in the ends so that you can manipulate these combs without the whole thing busting loose. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
They make like either bobby pins or certain pins that would grab into the wax and then would keep that from turning like that. Okay? I don't think it's quite big enough to be up into the honey super yet.
Okay.
But you know what? Hopefully we'll get a good flow, and they should be staged to just keep it growing, hopefully. Tim Schuler? Do you guys have any questions?
Carpenter ants aren't a problem we should worry about, right?
Not really. They generally aren't.
Oh, there was a worm, right, in this the other day?
Let's,
So this-
let's pull the tray out.
There it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoops.
So this is a wax moth one. But when they're smaller, you got to look closer. But this is too big to be a small hive beetle.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the wax moth webbing in here. So what? So the wax moth drops down under the screen. The bees can't get to it and take care of it. Otherwise, they'd. Well, you know, wax moth actually evolved with the bees. So they're fine with as long as the colony's strong. Small hive beetles sometimes, not so much in this area, is more of a problem. But so this here, you see under this webbing, this wax.
Yeah.
So, you know, just clean this off once a week. A lot of commercial
So it
beekeepers,
doesn't become a problem.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
but you know, this is. I like looking at these because you can see a lot of different things, especially mites. And I'm not seeing mites here. See all these little like scale things here?
Beeswax.
They're chewing off the top.
Oh,
You
yeah.
mean these
No.
little clear? It's
Yeah.
just falling off their abdomens,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
Yeah, so they're making beeswax, and yeah, they drop it and it's
And that's why these guys in these little brown or black pellets, that's their feces, the waxworm's feces.
Okay.
And here,
This is pollen, right?
well, that's. Oh, I thought that's a top
Oh,
of a cell.
that's the top of a cell. Here's pollen right there.
So once a week, especially new beekeepers, it's like having X-ray vision in the hive a little bit.
Right, I remember you saying that.
So scrape this off, take a look at it, and that'll control the wax moth larva down here too.
Okay.
If you were seeing varroa mites, then you probably need to take a closer look at what you got going on with varroa mites and do an alcohol wash. But you know, now it's not going to be a
At
problem.
this stage of the game, that's not going to be an issue.
There's a varroa mite right there. I think it's kind of up on his side.
Yep, I think you're right, John. Yep, that's definitely one. See it on the end of my hive tool?
It's tiny.
But they all have them
Yeah.
to one degree or another.
Okay.
The key is not to have a lot of them. Okay?
Okay.
And then to clean this, you could just take your hive tool and scrape it all right off. Did you guys grease it up before you put it in, or just put it in plain?
Just put it in plain.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that something you recommend?
I put mine in plain because if you put Vaseline or anything on them, it works as plastic.
Yeah.
You
So
don't necessarily.
I don't need to be concerned about those.
No. But these,
We'll clean it up right now.
This column is strong enough to take care of that.
Good.
They have entrance reducers here.
Yeah, that was going to be my question.
Oh, yeah,
How
that's
the entrance reducers. I put mine on because I felt they weren't strong, obviously, when we first got them. This was very strong.
I'd say the biggest challenge here is being in the shade like this. It's probably
Yeah.
the biggest challenge.
Yeah, it would definitely help to have more sun. Because just think of your workforce. If you were an employer and your workers didn't start working till 11 and knocked off at 2, would your business be as strong as my business where they started at 7 and didn't knock off till 7? So the less shade, the better. The more sun, the better.
Okay.
But you got to obviously deal with what you got.
Right.
Right.
So
What about putting it over there?
We can do that. The problem is because of this being a dead-end street, we do have people that come down and park, and we do have kids that come down, and it's
And
just
play.
I can't put up a privacy fence.
Is there a
because
park
of the town
down here?
ordinance.
You say there's a park?
No, this is a dead-end street.
No,
where
they
people
come down and they park
there
down.
and do things they shouldn't be doing
Yeah.
in all different forms, be it activities or drugs.
Maybe they
or,
won't do that anymore. It's easy.
Well, but there's
That
also
won't
a
stop.
whole neighborhood of boys, and
Right.
I'm sorry guys, but boys are trouble.
if
And
you put more than one of them together,
there's trouble.
they can get into all kinds of
Right,
trouble.
and I
know
don't
what you
want
mean.
anybody messing with my hives.
I know.
So that's why we put it back here. It doesn't disturb anybody.
Yeah,
Tim, do you want to keep the entrance reducer?